Hey guys, well, I'm not gonna say welcome back, but, well, this is History of Power Rangers Season 1, Episode, well, actually, I should say welcome back, because I'm doing the Power Ranger stuff along with the Naruto stuff, so, you know. So, anyway, welcome back to History of Power Rangers. Now, this is History of Power Rangers Season 1, Episode 2 of my show, which is going to be about Episode 1. But before I actually start talking about Episode 1, I want to play you guys the theme song for the first season. But before I actually start talking about the first episode. So, here it goes, guys. After 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth. Alpha, Rita's escaped. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitude. Go, go, Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers. Go, go, Power Rangers. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Okay, sorry guys, I just have to bring this all the way back to the end. And then I'll put it on the first. Sorry if you see this in the video, I apologize. I just wanted to show you guys the theme song for the first season anyway before I started talking about it. Now, I'm just going to bring it down to Season 2, Episode 1. And then I'll actually start talking about the actual episode. There. Now. Okay, now turn off console. Well, first of all, guys, I just want to apologize if you saw that in the video. I want to apologize about that. If you saw that in the video, I completely apologize. I just wanted to show you guys the theme song for the first season of the original first series. Now, as you can see while I was scrolling down, there's like 60 episodes in the first season, so I'm going to do all of them. But what I'm going to do is, since there's so many of them, what I'm going to do is the same thing I'm going to do for when I start Season 1 of the R Troopers. If I get to a part in the episodes where it's like more than a 2 or 3 part episode, I'm going to condense it into one long video for you guys. I just figured that's the easiest way to do it. So, I just wanted to get that out of the way there. I will start talking about the first episode, but hold on a second. Now, Episode 1 of Season 1 of Mighty Morphing is known as Day of the Dumpster, which is kind of an ironic name for the first episode. But the reason I say that's ironic is because Rita Repulsa, who is the antagonist of at least the antagonist for the entire first season, she and her minions are trapped in a dumpster based canister object on the moon. And there they've remained for like 10,000 years. Which in this case ends up in the Earth year 1993, which is where the first season starts off. Anyway, and then basically what happens is these two astronauts, they're on the moon and they accidentally discover the dumpster-based object that she and her minions are imprisoned in, and accidentally open it and release them back into the world. Now, I've already explained who the characters are. If you guys want, you can check out my character bio video for the Power Rangers stuff to see what I'm talking about. Oh, and as you saw when I was doing the scrolling thing, there's a 5-part episode in season 1 of Power Rangers. So, like I said, what I'm going to be doing is if I get to a multi-part episode that's like more than 2 or 3 parts, I'm going to condense them into one long video for you guys to get it over, just so that I can get all the videos, just so that I can get all the parts of it out of the way. But if it's like a 2 or 3 part episode, I'm going to do one episode at a time. I just thought I'd state that one last time there. And I'll just say this again. Part of the reason why I decided to do this while I'm doing the Naruto stuff is it's because of the fact, it's because of the fact that this year, next month actually, in March, there's a Power Ranger movie coming out. I believe I stated this in my character bio video for the Power Ranger stuff. So I figured, as I stated in my character bio video for both the antagonists and protagonists, I figured in honor of that movie, I figured why not do the Power Ranger stuff while I'm doing the Naruto stuff. That was my plan if the Naruto stuff carried over into this year, which it did. So I just thought I'd mention that one last time. And anyway, getting back into the actual episode, the astronauts from our world in the series, Earth, are on the moon, and then they're exploring the moon, and then accidentally, they find, the dumpster-based object on the moon, and then they accidentally release, Rita and her minions. I explained who they are in the character bio which I did for both the protagonist and antagonist, but I think I'll explain about them again. They basically accidentally release Rita, Goldar, Finster, Squat, and Babu. And when Rita gets released, she's like, ah! And then Squat's basically, he's like, uh-oh, morning breath, let me get you a mint. And then after Babu helps her out, she gets mad at him because she said he made her step into a puddle. And then the astronauts run off in fear, and then basically Rita tells them not to leave because they'll miss her coming out party, which is when she'll destroy the nearest planet, which unfortunately for this series is Earth. And then it goes into the first scene on Earth, and then basically what happens is the 5 protagonist characters, I also stated about them, Jason, Zack, Trini, Billy, and Kimberly are at the Angel Grove Youth Center, which is basically the gym and the juice bar in the series. Anyway, and basically Jason and Zack are training, like they're doing a little bit of sparring, which is karate. And then basically what happens is after Zack recovers from Jason's attack during their sparring match. Jason tells Zack that he did a nice recovery, and then Zack basically thanks Jason for teaching him and stuff, and then then Kimberly is on the gymnastics balance board, and she jumps off of it, and Trini said that what Kimberly did was excellent, and Kimberly thanks Trini for that, and then Billy shows up, and then basically, Zack wonders if Billy's prepared, and then Billy said that he feels like he's 100% mentally and physically prepared for his first karate class. And then basically what happens is, that Jason and the others get prepared for class, and then Bulk and Skull show up, and then after they have a little bit of an argument with Kimberly and Trini about a double date kind of thing, and oh my god, I'm sorry, but that's sort of stupid and idiotic. Anyway, getting back into it, then it goes. Then Jason's doing his karate class, and then he says "Pow," which I'm guessing is another way of saying the word "stop" because he wants to help Billy out. And then Billy says that he's just not good at this. And then Jason tells him that not to worry because even he was a beginner once. And then he says another word, which is "shimbi," which I'm guessing is the Japanese word for saying begin again. Then he asks them what martial arts. I'm getting ahead of myself there. Sorry. But after Kimberly and Trini sort of reject Bulk and Skull with the date offer, Skull starts to. I'm just backtracking here since I missed it. I'm sorry. Skull starts to leave, but then Bulk stops him, and he said that, "What's the matter? They're not good enough for them?" And then basically what happens is Trini tells Bulk to leave her and Kimberly alone, and then basically Bulk says "make him," and then Skull basically repeats what Bulk says, and then but then Zack shows up, and then Skull basically says "make him," and he points to Bulk, and then Zack says that they heard that Bulk and Skull heard what Kimberly said, and then oh my god, and then Bulk's like, "Well, what do you know? The dancer wants to be a fighter," and then Kimberly says that they can handle those two. They can handle those two, and then Bulk and Skull charge at Kimberly and Trini, and basically what happens is, after that, they sort of make a mocking kind of joke. Well, Kimberly sort of makes a mockery kind of joke where she said that they should definitely join Jason's karate class, and then Zack makes this face with his mouth, and oh my god, I'm sorry guys, but that's sort of hilarious. And then it goes into a scene with Rita, where Rita's palace is on the moon, and she's looking down at the Earth through her repulsoscope, which is basically a telescope that she uses. And then basically what happens is, after that, she said that she likes it, and then Goldar says that's good that she likes it. And then Rita tells Finster to start making putty patrollers, which, as I stated when I did the character bio video, the putty patrollers are the foot soldiers for this season and next season, but they're not the foot soldiers for the third season, which kind of makes sense, because if they would have stuck with the putty patrol for all 3 seasons, that would have just been a bit boring. But as I said, but I won't explain about, you see, but I will just give you guys a little heads up. The putties that are in season 2 are different from the ones that are in this season, but I won't explain about those until I get to season 2 and when I get to talking about the new antagonist for the second season of the original series. But, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything for that. So, and then, anyway, getting back into it, Finster tells Rita, yes, your evil badness, that he's molding the last one's she tells Finster to start making putty patrollers, and then Goldar says that he'll lead the putties down and they'll make the Earth hers. And then basically what happens is, and then it goes back into where Jason, Kimberly, Trini, Billy, and Zack are, and Jason is telling Billy that for his first karate lesson he did really well. Sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I'm gonna backtrack here. After Jason continues teaching the class, he basically says "po," which is, as I stated, I'm guessing it's the Japanese word for the word stop. And basically, he helps Billy out, and Billy says that he's just not good at karate, and then basically Jason tries to reassure him by telling him that even he was a beginner once, which makes sense. And anyway, I'm sorry if this video is getting kind of long, guys. I am going to have to make this, but that's okay. I am going to have to make a couple of long videos for the Power Rangers stuff. I just wanted to get that out of the way because I just looked at the timer on my recording thing. So, anyway, I'm sorry. I was just getting off topic there because I realized that. Anyway, sorry. After he says, after he's done helping Billy out, he says another Japanese word, which I think is the way for saying the word go. And then he asks the class what martial arts helps them to develop. And then Billy raises his hand and he says that martial arts help them to develop courage, teaches them courage, kindness, integrity, honesty, and discipline, which and dignity as well. And then Jason said that he said that's good, and he said that Billy memorized that quite quickly. And then Bulk and Skull show up. Then Bulk and Skull show up, and they ask Jason to teach them how to beat people up, and then Jason said that martial arts wasn't developed to hurt others, which is technically true. Martial arts, it's basically meant to teach you self-defense, like defending yourself. And if there's no other alternative, then you have to do it. And then Bulk says that they did not sign up for a geeky karate class. And then Jason says that he's going to teach them some advanced moves. And then he does a side kick. And then after he does the side kick technique, Bulk says that anything he can do, Jason can do, he can do better. And then basically, he shows them with the tornado kick, and then basically, he shows them how to do the tornado kick, and then he says that anything. But when Paul does the tornado kick, he sort of falls down, and then Jason said that class is dismissed, and then basically, Jason is sort of congratulating Billy because he's telling him that for his first lesson he did really well, and basically, Billy's surprised by that. He said that he did, and then Kimberly tells him that she and Trini were watching, and then then Billy says that he doesn't think he's got what it takes for martial arts, and then Trini basically tells him that martial arts is all a state of mind. He doesn't have to be strong for it, and it's all up there. Well, actually, Zack said that it's all up there. Like, it has to do with the mental aspect. And then Ernie, who's the owner of the gym and juice bar, asks who ordered the spinach juice. And then there's this rumbling, which they think is an earthquake. But technically, it's not an earthquake. Technically, it's not an earthquake. It's Rita attacking the planet. And then after that, in the command center, Zordon and Alpha sense that Rita has escaped, and then Alpha wonders what they should do, and then Zordon tells Alpha to teleport to them 5 overbearing and over-emotional humans, and then Alpha gets upset about that with the teenager thing. And then he teleports them. But then Billy says that something tells him that it's no earthquake, which it isn't. It's, as I said before, it's Rita attacking the planet. Anyway, then basically what happens is they get teleported to the command center, and then basically what happens after that is, after they get teleported, they're wondering where they are, and then Billy says that the answer must be in these controls, and And then Alpha shows up, and then when Billy sees him, he's like, fully sanctioned, multifunctional automaton, and he's never seen anything like it. And then basically what happens is Zordon then shows up, and then he's welcoming them, and then Jason is wondering who he is, and then Kimberly's saying what he is, and then basically Zordon explains that he's an interdimensional being caught in a time warp, and Alpha introduces himself as Alpha 5, and then they're well, actually, then Kimberly says that, please come back to Earth and pick me up, because she's totally confused. And then Zordon explains that it's quite simple. The Earth is under attack, and he's brought them there to save it. And then Zack says that, yeah, right. Oh my god, I'm sorry. But like I said again, if this video is getting kind of long, I apologize, guys. But I am going to have to make a couple of long videos for this series, just because there's so many episodes. If I did a couple of short videos at a time, I wouldn't be able to get through them all. Anyway, getting back into it, then Zordon says that he's a non-believer, and he tells them to look at the viewing globe, and then he explains about Rita and her henchmen, and she explains that Rita is an intergalactic sorceress bent on controlling the universe. With her henchmen and putty patrollers, she plans to take over the Earth. And then basically what happens is Kimberly's wondering what all that has to do with them, and then Zordon basically says that they've been chosen to form an elite team, which is the Power Rangers, to battle Rita. Each of them will be given access to powers drawn from the ancient creatures they call dinosaurs. And then he tells them about their Zords, which I explained about in my character bio video. And then after that he explains about just as the 5 of them work together. But since he mentions them again, I'm just going to reference it one more time. Jason's Zord is the Tyrannosaurus. Zack's is the Mastodon. Billy's is the Triceratops. Kimberly's is the Pterodactyl. And Trini's is the saber-toothed tiger. I just thought I'd reference it again since he mentions it in the episode. And then he explains about how, just as the 5 of them work together, so do their Zords. And he explains to them how to create the Megazord. And then Zack basically says that, Power Morphers and Megazords, this is all too weird for him. He tells Zordon that, tell you what, it's been fun, but he's got a jet. And then basically they don't say goodbye, except for Jason, because he stays behind. And then Zordon basically tells them that let the power protect them. And Alfred says that didn't go well. And he's like, ay, ay, ay. And then basically what happens after that is, Rita then says to herself about Zordon, she's surprised at she's surprised at him for recruiting teenagers. They think they can stop her, huh? And then she tells Finster to hurry up with those putty patrollers. And then basically then Finster tells her that he's molding the last ones now, and that Squat basically says that those putties will make space dust out of those kids. And then Finster says that the beauty is that even if they don't, they can always make more. And then after the putties come out of the after the putties come out of the Monster-matic, Rita tells the putties to prepare to get those teenagers, and then while Jason and the others are walking away, Jason tells them that they shouldn't have left because Zordon chose them to save the world. He said they'd do it. And then Trini's saying that does he really think they can? And then Zack kind of thinks, he says that they don't even know what they're talking about because they were talking to a giant floating head. Oh my god, I am so sorry, but that's kind of hilarious. Oh my god, I am so sorry about that, guys, but that is kind of hilarious in a way. And then Rita says that stupid teenagers don't know who they're messing with, and then she blasts a part of the rock face on the mountain where they're in, and then she sends the putties down, and then the putties, and then the Rangers start fighting the putties, but after they get knocked around a bit by the putties, they're wondering what they should do next. And then Jason said that Zordon said that these power morphers would give them powers, so he asked them to do it, and then they make the metamorphosis sequence, and then after they do the metamorphosis, Alpha tells Zordon that they've made the metamorphosis, and then he tells Alpha to teleport them to Angel Grove City because Rita has sent down Goldar, and then Alpha teleports them, and then after they get teleported to the city, they start fighting Goldar, and then it goes into a scene where Rita is talking to Finster, telling her about the putties, that they're getting beaten by a bunch of pimple-faced nitwits, and they're pathetic. And then Squat asks Rita a question about making Goldar big with her wand. And then she said that she always had to do everything herself. And then she tells Finster that she'll deal with him later. And then she uses her magic wand to make Goldar grow. And then after Goldar grows big, Jason and the others in their Ranger forms make these sayings about how the good guys are here and stuff, and then after that, they call on the Dinozords to form the Megazord, and then they do a battle against Goldar, and then after that, what happens is, after a couple of hits, Billy tells Jason, while they're battling him in the Megazord robot form instead of its tank form, that blow didn't even phase him, and then Jason said that man, and then he said that Goldar's coming at them, and then basically what happens is after that, Goldar tells them that them and their weapons are no match for him, and then they call him the Power Sword for the Megazord, and then Goldar says that this isn't over, he'll be back. And then after Goldar escapes, Rita's kind of upset, and basically what happens is, Rita's kind of upset, like, then Babu is telling Squat that this is his fault, he should have helped, and then, Rita tells Goldar that he failed, and he tells her that it won't happen again, and then he tells her to shut up because she's got a headache. Oh my god. And then it goes into the scene where they're in the command center, and then Zordon congratulates them on a job well done, and now that they've become Power Rangers, they have to follow 3 specific rules or lose the protection of the power. And these rules are basically really specific. First, never use your Ranger power for your own personal gain. Second, never escalate the battle unless Rita forced them to, and third, and most importantly, keep their identities as Power Rangers secret. No one could know that they were Power Rangers. And then Zack basically tells Zordon that they got he's not sure that they are up for this because they got really lucky this time. And then Zordon assures them that luck had nothing to do with it. The 5 of them have grown to become a finer power of superheroes, finest group of superheroes the world has ever known. And then Kimberly disbelief, like she says sarcastically, no way and really. And then Zordon basically tells them that they've been through an extraordinary experience together. They need each other and the world needs them. And then the 4 of them say that they can count on them. And then Kimberly makes a bit of a joke about, she said that the outfits are really cool and everything, but her hair gets all tangled up inside the helmet. She doesn't know if she can do it. And then basically what happens is, after the others try to reassure her, then she says, "Not!" And then Alpha makes these little shorty fizzy noises. And then Kimberly tells Alpha to not blow a fuse because she was just kidding. And then basically Alpha says, "Oh, humor, what a concept." And then they all put their hands together and they raise them up, and they're all like, "Power Rangers." And that's basically where this episode stops. So until later on this week, guys, like sometime this weekend, may the power protect you always.